Begin with some breaking news from Watertown. That's where a driver is facing criminal charges for allegedly trying to hit some protesters outside a Tesla dealership. Thanks for joining us on this Saturday. I'm Ken MacLeod. Police say they tracked down the driver a few hours later in a different city. WBZ's Paul Burton spoke with a man who narrowly avoided being struck.
No Elon, no KKK, no Fascist USA.
Tense moments at a Tesla protest on Pleasant Street in Watertown on Saturday when Frank Gary says he was clipped by a black pickup truck.
But he hit me with this, what are the mirrors, you know those trucks with the big side mirrors? Bang, hit me right in the arm. I chased after him to get the number and I gave it to the police officers.
Frank says he was standing on the sidewalk chanting with a group of protesters when the black F-150 truck turned the corner close to the crowd. You think he was aiming for you?
Oh, absolutely. He had parked here where like that car was, and then he just went right here. So he was planning the whole time. It was intentional. And, a deadly weapon is a car.
There was a strong police presence during the protest. Police say no one else was injured or hit by the truck. Police say they did locate the truck a short time later. Protests against Teslas have been happening across the country. It's intended as a protest against President Trump and billionaire Elon Musk.
We just want having a peaceful protest because we're really concerned with all the Doge cuts and that Elon is not an elected person. Nobody elected Elon Musk, and he's sort of a shadow president, and that's not democracy.
With that in mind, Boston police need some help identifying a suspect who they believe is connected to several incidents of vandalism. Police say this suspect targeted Tesla vehicles in the area of Hemingway and Gainsborough streets between March 11th and March 19th. Anyone with information on this is asked to call Boston police. All right, let's check our next weather alert as we track some freezing rain and cold temps on this last weekend of March, believe it or not. It's 70 degrees just south of us in Connecticut. Let's get right to WBZ meteorologist Jacob Wyckoff.
Unfortunately, a pretty raw weekend. You felt that this morning, right on into the afternoon. Showers both Saturday and Sunday. There is the possibility of some iciness as you go into north and west of Boston, outside of 495, along and north of Route 2, through New Hampshire, through northern Massachusetts. That would be mainly tonight and into tomorrow morning. And then as we go into the next couple of days, we're just dealing with cool and raw conditions until we get to Monday. Monday will be milder, but it's going to be just as rainy. We do have some winter weather advisories posted for Worcester County and Northwest Middlesex County. The pink shaded color here, that's going to be a winter storm warning. That's where we expect the icy conditions to be worse. And we'll watch to see how that plays out into the overnight hours. Right now, we are seeing dry conditions, but this is going to be off and on throughout the day today, where we're going to see a period of showers and then it takes a break. So not a washout of a day, but a cool, dreary, raw day. Same sort of story for tomorrow, where we are actually dry for much of the afternoon for our Sunday. This is Futurecast showing this afternoon a period of some light rain, perhaps a little bit of sleet and freezing rain. And by the time we get to about 7 o'clock, that's where we'll start to see some of those freezing rain conditions really making itself known. We're going to hold on to some showers through Sunday morning, and then just some isolated showers Sunday. Sunday night, another round of showers should start to build in. We're not talking about a ton of rain, 1/10 of an inch to 1/4 of an inch, not groundbreaking sort of totals, but enough that it throws a wrench into weekend plans. And these are the areas that we're expecting to see the best chance for any sort of freezing rain. We are seeing those cloudy skies sticking around pretty much the rest of today and tomorrow, and our afternoon temperatures are going to be stuck in the 30s. Tomorrow, we're back into the mid-40s, mid-60s for Monday, with a chance of some late storms drying out on Tuesday. Back to you.
All right, Jacob, thanks. A teenager has died following a vehicle crash in Falmouth. Police say the crash occurred on Route 28 North Friday afternoon. When officers arrived, they found a car had hit an embankment there and a teen was pinned underneath it. That teenager was pronounced dead at the scene. 2 others were injured and taken to the hospital. The circumstances leading up to this crash are still under investigation. A local soldier who died while serving in the Korean War has finally been laid to rest. Army Private First Class Joseph Travers was buried in Taunton today. He was reported missing in action way back in 1951, but his remains were returned to Massachusetts only this week. Travers was identified using DNA analysis last year, almost 75 years after he died. He was laid to rest this morning at Cedar Knoll Cemetery. The number of people killed by that powerful 7.7 magnitude earthquake in Myanmar has jumped to more than 1,600. Emergency crews continue to pull bodies from the rubble of buildings that collapsed when the quake hit near the country's second largest city on Friday. Thousands are injured. The quake was followed by several aftershocks, including one measuring a strong 6.4. Buildings toppled to the ground, bridges collapsed, and roads buckled. The country's military-led government says it expects that death toll to rise. Vice President J.D. Vance has returned to the U.S. after his historic visit to Greenland. It's the latest push by the Trump administration as it aims to take control of the semi-autonomous Danish territory. Bradley Blackburn has that story.
Vice President J.D. Vance and Second Lady Usha Vance landed at Joint Base Andrews in Maryland Friday after traveling to Greenland. He spent more time in the air than on the ground, but still made history as the highest-ranking U.S. official to visit.
We need to ensure that America is leading in the Arctic because we know that if America doesn't, other nations will fill the gap where we fall behind.
Vance visited U.S. troops at a space base in the island's far northwest, but he wasn't welcomed by Greenland's officials. President Trump has said he wants the U.S. to take control of the territory, something Greenland does not want.
We have to have Greenland. It's not a question of, do you think we can do without it? We can't.
Greenland's new prime minister said there needs to be a dialogue with the U.S., and the vice president said he expects there will be a deal.
We do not think that military force is ever going to be necessary. We think we're going to be able to cut a deal, Donald Trump style, to ensure the security of this territory, but also the United States of America.
At the White House, President Trump was also focused on the North. With the U.S. and Canada locked in a trade war over tariffs, he spoke for the first time with Canada's new Prime Minister, Mark Carney.
I've always loved Canada, and we had a very good conversation.
We agreed to begin comprehensive negotiations about a new economic and security relationship between our two sovereign countries.
New tariffs against goods from Canada are still set to take effect April 2nd. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, New York.
Global superstar Ed Sheeran is making waves on the North Shore. Sheeran performed inside his highly anticipated pop-up pub in Ipswich on Friday night. And as WBZ's Brandon Truitt shows us, he may be planning to make an even bigger imprint on that Massachusetts town very soon.
It was a 3-hour private concert that included a music video shoot. Ed Sheeran wrapping his action-packed day inside his pop-up pub with some of his biggest fans, including Jeff and Rocio Oliver.
It was incredible. He was just so easygoing. He plays so many songs.
It was unreal. It was, I felt like I was in a dream the whole show. It was sick.
Sheeran arrived in Ipswich Friday morning and hit Market Street, and man, did he bring them alive. Surrounded by thousands of adoring fans, he did a little shopping, shook a lot of hands, and took a lot of pictures.
I yelled out from the street, "Hey Ed, I can't get in. Can I take a picture?" And he said yes.
But it was this moment that made the crowd stand still. Sheeran asking to use the bed of a truck as a makeshift stage. With his guitar in hand, a camera crew in tow, he breaks out into his new unreleased song, Old Phone, the name of the pop-up pub that brought him here.
I found my old phone today in a box that I had hidden away.
The truck belongs to Jack Weil.
That was cool. That was crazy. I don't know. I just was staying out of the way, and all of a sudden he picked me out of the crowd and just asked if he could come sing in the truck. And I feel like you got to say yes to that no matter what.
Sheeran made his first stop in the pub earlier Friday, where he surprised fans.
It's great. It looks like a little English pub. Greens and browns and pictures of him hanging everywhere and other pictures of horses and things you would see in an English pub.
A slice of England here at home and an unforgettable day for this coastal town.
It's a great town, great people, and it's exciting. It's really exciting to see our little town on the map.
In Ipswich, Brandon Truitt, WBZ News.
Pretty cool, huh? We thank you for joining us. The news continues streaming on cbsnews.com/Boston. And if you're watching us on YouTube, be sure to like us and subscribe. Hope you have a great day.